back on my wealth-minded humans. One would say that life is a journey, therefore we need to complete it. Another would say that life is a goal, therefore we need to achieve it. We might find ourselves going down hills and through valleys, hoping one day to start climbing that hill to achieve our goals. As humans, we will need some sort of motivation in order to start climbing that hill to achieve our goals. We can apply such concept of being in debt and you want to start the debt-free journey, but you will need some sort of motivation while you are going along the journey to be debt-free. There are two strategies that you can choose when you want to get out of debt. There is the debt snowball method and the debt avalanche method. We can choose the debt snowball method or the debt avalanche method in order to be debt-free. I want to give a special shout out to Red Bunny Classic, who watched my video on crushing debt, the snowball versus debt avalanche method explained. If you decide to use the debt snowball method to pay off your credit card debts, you will notice that you will be motivated as you go along paying off your debt. Whereas if you decide to use the debt avalanche method, you are basically saving more money in your pocket. But we all are humans and sometimes we need a bit of both in order to feel good when we are continuing the journey to be debt-free. I'm going to show you how you can pay off your credit card debt using the debt avalanche method while getting some bit of motivation as if you were using the debt snowball method while saving yourself some money on interest. So let's get right into it. I am now going to shrink the numbers for you in this situation where the person is carrying a credit card debt of $9,000 over 3 credit cards, and each of the interest on those cards are 8%, 25%, and 15%. I'm going to use the debt snowball method first and break that down for you, and then I will get into the debt avalanche method. By using the debt snowball method, you have to list your debts from the smallest amount to the largest amount. You will notice that I have listed the first credit card debt that is carrying a balance of $2,000, and that is card A. And the second card is card B, which is carrying a balance of $3,000. And this is followed by card C, which is carrying a balance of $4,000. The debt snowball method has nothing to do with interest rate. You're not taking that into consideration because ultimately all you want to do is get rid of the first credit card so that you are going to tackle the one with the lowest amount on that card. Thereby, you only have one less credit card to deal with. And in this case, after the person has paid off the balance on the first card, then they will have 2 credit cards left to deal with, and that should give them that motivation that they're looking for based on this debt snowball method. Although this method does not deal with the interest rate, you still have to calculate the interest rate based on the debt that you have on each card. And you will notice here that I have $13.15 on the lowest debt, which is $2,000, followed by $61.64, followed by the next one, which is $49.32. And that will give you a grand total of $124.11 in interest that is owed on the $9,000 credit card debt. You will notice here that the total payment on the credit card debt is going to be $600 per month. I have allocated the $300 for the lowest credit card, and for the other remaining 2 cards, I have allocated $150 each. The reason why I did this as opposed to using the average of all 3 cards and allocate $200 to each is because if you really want to get out of debt and feel that motivation, you have to increase your payment towards the first card that you're trying to get rid of. And that's why I have increased that one to $300, even though the minimum payment may have been $50. This is all if you have $600 in cash flow. Everyone's situation is different, so you have to base your situation on your cash flow with your debt in order to do your calculations. At the end of month 1, since you have made your $300 payment towards the $2,000 credit card, which is card A, that will attract interest of $13.15. Take that $300 from the $2,000, it will be $1,700, but you must add your interest here, which is $13.15, and that will give you the grand total of $1,713.15. You will then also have to calculate the interest on each one of these totals of the other two cards also. Your grand total in interest that you're going to be paying for the second month on that card is going to be $119.17. You will notice that it is a little bit less than what you paid the previous month, and that is because you are allocating $600 towards your payment on those cards. You will continue making your payment down the line. Your interest each month is going to be decreasing. You will now notice that at the end of month 6, your total balance on card A will be $250.36. That is less than the $300 that you would normally allocate to that card. So you are actually going to pay off that card at the end of month 7, and you will be left with $47.99 in cash flow that you can now allocate towards the second card, which is card B. So because card B, your payment usually is $150. When you add that, you will decrease that from your balance that you had on the card. And moving forward now, for the next month, instead of paying that $150 towards card B alone, you are going to pay what you usually pay to card A, which is the $300 plus the $150, and that will give you a total of $450 that you are going to allocate to card B. However, card C will still be paid $150 on that balance. You will continue down the line, and you will notice that when you arrive at the end of month 12, the previous balance was $305.76. So at the end of month 12, you would have paid off that balance on card B, and you will also be left with an extra cash flow of $137.96. You are now going to add this towards your payment for card C. For the next month, your grand total in payment that you are going to apply towards card C is going to be the total $600. You will make that payment at the end of month 16. You would have paid off everything on your credit card. The balance there was $373.71, and you would be left with $221.68 in cash flow in your pocket. You should now realize that the total interest that you paid on the card is $1,128.32 for the entire duration of the 16 months on that debt of $9,000 using the debt snowball method. Now I'm going to explain the debt avalanche method for you. With the debt avalanche method, you will be making the same amount of payment allocation as you did with the debt snowball method. Now the debt avalanche method is the method whereby you have to concentrate on the interest rate. So you are going to look at your credit cards and see which one is carrying the highest interest rate, and you are going to list that debt first, followed by the next lower interest rate, followed by the least interest rate, and thereby you will notice that this is the column that you would concentrate on. Although the debt avalanche method is based solely on the interest rate, you still have to write down your cards here. You notice the numbers will be different. So the card A will now be the last card that is listed. Card B will be the first card that will be listed using the debt avalanche method. And card C will be the second card that is listed here. The cards would change as opposed to using the debt snowball method over here. Your amount of interest will be the same for the first month, but you will notice that for the second month it will be different. And straight off the top, you will realize that comparing it with the debt snowball method, the total interest paid for month 2 will be less than that of the debt snowball method. At month 7, the amount of interest that you paid using the debt avalanche method is less than that you paid using the debt snowball method, and it is highlighted here in this color. You will continue making your payments. You will notice that you have passed month 7 and still has not paid off any of your credit card as yet, but you have saved yourself some money in the pocket in terms of interest. And that's why the Debt Avalanche method is the method that is going to save you some money in your pocket, whereas the Debt Snowball method is based solely on motivation and it is not going to save you any money in your pocket. But you are going to feel good after you have paid off your first card, and after you have paid off the second card, a bit of motivation is there and you are going to strive on that motivation to reach the finish line where you will be debt free. However, using the debt avalanche method, at the end of month 12, you will pay off your first card. Yes, woo, yes, long awaited. At the end of month 11, your balance was $91.40. Make that payment and you will have an extra $206.72 in your pocket. So now you can allocate that towards your next card plus the $150 that you were paying on that card and make that payment. At month 13, you will now be paying $450 towards card C, and you will continue to pay $150 towards card A. You will continue down the line and you will notice that you will end up paying off card A before you even pay off card C. So you will end up paying off the last card that you listed under the debt avalanche method before you pay off the second card. So you already paid off one, which was card B, at the 12th month mark, and then at the 14th month mark, you will notice that instead you have paid off the last card and not the second card. You will continue making your payment and you will add that $150 that you used to pay towards that one, and you will then start paying $600 towards card C. At the end of month 17, you will notice that your balance here is $457.93, which is less than the $600 required to make payment. So because of that, you will be left with $136.43 in your pocket. However, your total interest that you have paid for that duration of the 17 months will be $1,100.16. This is actually a saving of $28.16. It is not much of a savings, and that is because you use the same allocation in terms of payments for the debt avalanche method and the debt snowball method. You did not change anything with your payment allocation. If you had changed your payment allocation for your debt avalanche method, your total savings would have increased much more. I'm now going to show you the breakdown by changing the payment allocation towards your debt, and we are going to change the payment amount that we were paid on the first card from $300 to $350. And the reason you're doing this is because the more you increase your payment, is the greater your motivation will be, and you will get out of debt faster using the debt avalanche method. Yes, we all know that this debt snowball method strives only on motivation, but guess what? In order to get some sort of motivation using a debt avalanche method, you need to increase your payment for the first card that is listed there that is carrying the highest interest rate, so that you can get rid of that debt faster and move on to the other credit cards that is carrying the lower interest rate. So by doing so, you are now paying the $350 here towards the card, which is card B, that is attracted the debt of $3,000 on that card. Once you subtract that $350, you will be left with $2,650, but you must add your interest here, and that will take you to $2,711.64. You will notice that the interest here is going to decrease, and I must say to you that because the interest has decreased, you can compare it to the interest using the other debt avalanche method without changing the payment on the first card, and you will notice that you would have saved a little bit of money. Yes, it's a little bit of money because it's only $50 that you had increased it by, but as you continue making your payment, the interest amount that you are paying is going to decrease. And so you will notice at the 7-month mark, your difference here in total interest that you will be paying will be $15 and change. I must say that at month 7, you still have not paid off any card, whereas using the debt snowball method, yes, you would have paid off your first card at month 7. However, although you didn't pay off the card, you will notice here that your interest payment will be less using this method as opposed to using the debt avalanche method. You are literally saving yourself $60 and change. So let's keep going and making your payment, and then you will notice that when you get to month 9, you will only have $180.94 on that card B. That is the one with the highest interest rate. So you're getting there, yes, and you're starting to feel good. So at the end of month 10, after you've paid off that $180.94, you will have some extra money from that $350 that you usually allocate for the payment towards that card, and you can now apply that to card C. That is the next card at the 15%. And now that you are finished with card B, you can put it away, do whatever you want. You can put it in the freezer and freeze it. Some people do that. Or you can cut it up. It's up to you. You will now move on to the next card, which is card C and card A, because you need to get rid of those. So for card C, you are going to increase the payment there to $500, because remember now, you were paying $350 on card B. You no longer have anything on card B, so you are going to add it to the $150. So that will bring you to $500 that you are going to allocate towards card C. Once you do that, you will continue going down the line, making your payment. But guess what? You notice something here. At the end of month 15, on card C, your balance will be $8.40. And your balance on card A will be $485.56. So after adding the total balance on both cards, you will notice that that will bring you to a total of $496.36. And when you make that payment there towards both cards, you are debt free. Yeah. And now you have a whopping $102.74 left over. So it took you 16 months to pay off the credit card using the debt avalanche method, where you change your payment allocation and increase the first one by $50. But it took you 17 months using the same payment plan that you had used in the debt snowball method for the debt avalanche method. Therefore, you can also compare your interest that you have saved, and you will notice that you have saved $131.07 just by increasing your payment amount using the debt avalanche method. So let's look at the entire picture here. When we use the debt avalanche method and using the same amount of payment allocation that we used in the debt snowball method, we only saved $28.16. However, when we increased the payment towards the first credit card by $50, we end up saving $131.07. So this should give you the idea that when you increase the payment on the credit card that is carrying the highest interest rate, you also are increasing your motivation, because you are going to get out of the debt faster than if you did not do any increase in your payments towards your first credit card. Remember now that it took you 10 months with the increase of $50 towards the first credit card to get rid of that credit card, and it took you 12 months by not increasing it to get rid of that credit card. So you gain some motivation there of 2 months. You were motivated 2 months earlier and you wanted to be debt free. Also, it took you 16 months to get rid of all your debt using the method where you increase that payment by $50, whereby it took you 17 months when you did not make any increase towards your payment. I like to dig deeper into the situation, and so I am going to now show you another situation whereby you still increased it by $50 more. So now your total payment on your first card is $400 as opposed to $350. But what you did in this case is that you took the $50 from your credit card with the lowest interest rate. Mark it, guys. You got to think logically. If you have a credit card with the lowest interest rate, it would behoove you to make the minimum payment on that card and then allocate the extra money that you may have towards the first card that is carrying the highest interest rate. This way, it will give you a motivational high to get rid of the credit card faster and save yourself some money in terms of interest in your pocket. Let's look at the breakdown. We notice again is $115 here in interest. Is way less than the other method, which that was $117. And as you go along and making your payment, remember now that you're allocating $400 towards card B, and then card C, you're allocating $150 and then $50. As you go along and you're making your payment and you get to month 7, no, you have not paid off anything as yet. At the end of month 8, you will have a balance of $90.27 on card B. So you will make that payment and get rid of that card. At the end of month 9, you will have only 2 credit card debts to deal with, and you will allocate your extra money towards card C. At month 10, your payment towards card C is going to be $550. So once you pay that $550 towards card C, you will notice that your balance is going to decrease drastically. At the 14th month mark, you will now have a balance of $327.85. When you pay that off, at the end of month 15, you have 0 balance left on card B, and you were able to allocate $218.11 towards card A. There is a small window between you paying off the second card at the end of the 15th month and you paying off the last card at the end of the 17th month. After you've done so, you will have $98.93 left in your pocket that you can put towards anything or save it. I must highlight the fact that because you have increased your payment to $400, you now save more money in interest, which is $132.49. I know that the other one where you increased it to $350, the saving was $131.07, but here you're saving $132.49. Yes, it is $1.41 extra, but every little money counts. Now that you have seen the numbers and you have come to the conclusion that in order to increase your motivation while paying off your debt using the debt avalanche method, you need to increase the amount of money that you are allocating to that credit card debt that is carrying the highest interest rate. I hope that this video has helped you tremendously and you will utilize my strategies that I have laid out in the video for you, because remember now, if you want that motivation, go ahead and increase the amount of money that you're paying towards your credit card that is carrying the highest interest on that debt that you have. We all want to be debt-free very fast and to start living a comfortable life where we can start creating wealth and be financially free. I hope that this video has helped you tremendously as you continue your debt-free journey, and you will end up completing it and also achieve your goal while doing so. You can also watch my video on the balance transfer strategy, how to utilize that to get rid of some of those credit card debts that you have that is carrying a high interest rate. Thanks again and see you soon on the other side. Bye now. Cheers.